When we began Spartanburg's Way to Wellville, we really wanted to engage the community in improving health outcomes more, but we really didn't know how to do that. As we started off on this work, we talked a lot about community pride, but we weren't sure how to generate that community pride.
I appreciated Way to Wellville's ability to understand that we needed to pivot. When I still look back at going to the neighborhood associations with my cute little card and talking about what we're trying to do in community pride and how it was not resonating with the community.
And we were really fortunate to get connected with Rethink Health. And Rethink Health introduced us to a model of community engagement that really focused on listening to the community.
We were part of the broader National Way to Wellville initiative. Especially for Spartanburg, we were invited to do something around community engagement. And I remember clearly it was a question like, oh yeah, we want to do something in a community, how do we do it? And we proposed at the time the listening campaign approach.
Even from the campaign, the goal was to, reach a certain amount of residents and hear from, resident leaders and residents in general. They accomplished that goal, but I think even more than the numbers was the dynamic and the fellowship among community that came about through these listening sessions. I mean, you just don't see that kind of engagement anymore. And I get so humbled when I think about some of the sessions where residents were bringing potluck style food and sitting around dining room tables and having dialogue and conversations about what's important to them and their history from the neighborhood.
Were we receptive initially? Absolutely not. Oh, why does she want to come to our meeting?
This is not something that happens overnight. It really does require time, patience, persistence, for sure.
The Mary Black Foundation was thinking about ways that we could reward the neighborhood associations that had met their listening campaign goal, but also incentivize those who had not yet met their goal. So we offered what we called neighborhood action grants, or mini grants of up to $5,000 to the neighborhood associations that had met their goals.
We brought in neighbors, some who were new to the neighborhood, some who have lived here for upwards of 70 years. And we talked to them about what are their concerns, what are their dreams.
We knew exactly what we desired to have funds for. We were so excited when the opportunity was presented to us. And as always, we got a little leery about the grant process and the wording.
But I'd never done a grant before, so I was kind of like...
It got done, but I had to do it at a slower pace. Is that so? And then once I got rolling on it, it was okay.
To have this kind of grant, it was sort of it was a dream come true for us, and we had a lot of fun sitting around deciding what would we do with this money.
It allowed us to increase our capacity with all that's going on in the neighborhood now, redevelopment, revitalization. It's all hands on deck.
There's still some things that if we apply for another grant that we need to work on in the future.
The listening campaign really, I think, sparked an appetite in the community for ways to more authentically listen to people in our community, often people whose voices have not been heard or listened to in the past.
A lot of times people don't get a say into what's happening in their neighborhood. So for someone to come up and say that I just want to listen and find out what it is you want, that's huge.
Communities sometimes lack resources, but in most cases they don't lack resourcefulness. It's about seeing things in a different way, so you can start seeing what you can do, and in a way, what are the gaps that you need to push and work with institutions to achieve if you want the change in your community.
So I think through this process, it helps to reignite or bring back to the forefront that community relationship that has been lost over time. And I just think that is absolutely priceless.
I'm excited because there is hope now. There is hope, and there's a purpose. It's a purpose in the neighborhood now.